I am still kind of catching my breath after what we first just saw. A minute and 36 seconds was all it took for Theodor Berggren to once again line up another first round finish. CM, I mean, I'm at a loss for words. What can you say about what just transpired?
Oh, we can never count out Mohammadi, and we didn't ahead of this one. They shared one opponent. Theodor Berggren lost to Christian Stiegenberg. Mohammadi shocked the world against Christian Stiegenberg. But here, you see, Theodor Berggren is just a different animal, and I love that he called out Zelim Zubaraev there. It's just the fight that makes sense. Make that one for the vacant welterweight title in FCR. I want to see that fight.
Take my money is all I'm saying. That's the fight I want to see. Sweden versus Norway for the vacant strap. I mean, that just sounds like the right decision to make. And what a night in our return to Stockholm, Sweden. Some fantastic fights that we saw. Like, how about the fight that kicked off the main card as we got to see Herlin Chafoli return to the win column against Erik Varolén.
Yes, a beautiful finish by Chafoli on the ground as well, where Erik Varolén is the strongest. But he got that Dagestani handcuff, flattened him out, and landed hard ground and pound. But credit to the Swedish Donald Cerrone, Erik Varolén, for coming in on short notice at 41 years old and taking that tough fight.
Yeah, absolutely. The heart of a lion and a champion for sure. And if, speaking of the heart of a lion, I mean, Saba Zosashvili, he took a beating, but in the end, Martin Corney proved to be just a little too slick.
Yeah, exactly. Zosashvili was violent on the ground, being on his back, landed elbows, cut his opponent up, but then Martin Corney went to work with a lot of fanfare here tonight. He had a lot of support in the building. Love to see it. And he's so calm. He's so, you know, unassuming after a fight. After you just butchered a man, he's just going like, yeah, thank you guys. I want to go on vacation now.
Yeah, absolutely. And then how about the middleweight grudge match finally settled between Brian Aspegren and Enes Kolari? It really lived up to the hype.
Really did. I was really impressed by Brian Aspegren's composure on the feet, great head movement, almost like Matrix head movement. First two rounds, very great work from Aspegren, but then we saw Kolari actually come on in the third, and I also love Kolari's demeanor inside of the cage. He has that swagger on him, came in here tonight and definitely brought it as he always does.
Yeah, I want to see both guys back in the cage as soon as possible. Win, lose, or draw does not matter in my book. And then perhaps a new contender emerging as Zelim Zubaraev does it again.
He does it again. Great work, solid work. Managed to escape that tight knee bar and, you know, wanted to keep it standing, but when they ended up on the ground, after a few scrambles, managed to choke Axel Nubo out with a rear naked choke. And, you know, one finisher versus another finisher in Theodor Berggren. Would love to see it.
Absolutely. He definitely made his case there. And then we got to the co-main event. Not quite as fast-paced as some of the other fights on the card. Nonetheless, a very strong performance for Bilal Tipsaev against a very game Muhammad Walid.
Yeah, and this was a catchweight bout at 64 kilograms. And looking at Muhammad Walid, you know, he looks more like a flyweight, to be honest. I don't think he cut any weight for this fight. I believe he can come back here to FCR and fight at his natural weight class at 125 pounds. And another typical Bilal Tipsaev win for him to come home with.
And then, I mean, the entrance for the ages, but it wasn't enough to give Mohammadi the victory against Theodor Berggren.
Wow, I mean, when he dumped him on his head there, almost spiked him, that was very, very vicious. And then the strikes, my goodness, I believe that Theodor Berggren must hit so extremely hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's just a beast of a man. I mean, the word lion gets thrown around a lot in this sport, but he truly is a lion in there, toying with his prey sometimes. And like me and CM have made so clear, the fight that makes the most sense, Zelim versus Theodor Berggren for the vacant FCR title. I mean, Sweden versus Norway, I think that's the fight that's got to happen. But another fantastic event, another successful visit to the Swedish capital of Stockholm. Next time out, we will return to home base in Västerås in November 22nd, if memory serves right. Regardless, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. This was Sebastian Vendel-Martinez and CM Andersson, as always. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.